talk a little bit about each of these standards. Here's the perform strand. I'm calling these strands. Let's talk about singing in the band room. My band sings every single day. I sing every single phrase to them in some form. By the time we've finished rehearsing, I have sung every single phrase in there. Why? Because I can sing in a couple of seconds what will take me 10,000 words to say, and even still, my meaning would not be clear. But I can sing it, it'll be just fine. I use it to tune. I think it's really important that students know how to match a pitch. This is a big problem. In our method books, we don't match pitches. We make a very veiled attempt to tune octaves. Be the tubist for a second, and you tune to the clarinet or the oboe. We're not matching a pitch. We're separated by 2 octaves. There's a problem. There's a tubist in here, and you know what I'm talking about. Okay? Several tubists. It's a problem. Okay? So I think that singing allows us to, we can all find, particularly at the young ages, before the male voice has changed, there's an agreement, and we can teach kids at this very critical time where they all can sing the same pitch, and they can match that pitch. And by the way, if we miss that window, we've missed it, because now we're to octaves. Okay? And that changing male voice is very important. Okay? Number 2, scales. There's more to listening than just matching a pitch. Can they sing with good relative pitch? The reality is, in my opinion, many of our scales commit so far to muscle memory, they're no longer tools of musical expression anymore. It's merely a muscle memory thing, a technique exercise, and I made the all-state band. That's a concern. How do I find out if they actually understand the scale? Get them to sing it. When's the last time you tried to sing even a major scale? Sing it, record it, then go back and listen. Or check the tuner on the last note and see how far off you are. If we started that very early, that would be a significant improvement. Then, by the way, not only relative pitch, they have to learn to listen vertically. So I have them sing chorales. Yes, I do use a consistent chorale every day. I just don't treat it the same way every single day. Whether it's a simple little chord sequence, okay, that they can get used to hearing in a certain way and learning to sing, okay, so they can learn to tune vertically. So what I'm talking about is pitch in dimensions, matching, sequentially relative pitch, and then dimension, listening vertically. Very important, and singing facilitates that. I also have my bands sing as part of a rehearsal strategy, okay, shaping melodic lines. All right? How many high school directors are in here? How many middle school directors are in here? Okay? All right, college, any college, university? Okay? All right, let's see, how many, I wrote a piece, I'll use your example, okay? I wrote a piece not too many years ago that a lot of people have played. It's a little beginning band tune called The Tempest. How many of you know The Tempest? Raise your hands, please. All right, that's 2/3 to 3/4 of the room, okay? All right, now, you guys are going to be the clarinets. You guys are going to be the flutes, okay? Boom. It's on a G concert, okay? And the clarinet part is really difficult. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Good? Now, flutes, you have a difficult part. 4 notes. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Good, here we go. Clarinets, 2. Clarinets, 2. Ready? Boom. Thank you. Okay? How long would it take me to say all of that? A very long time. Okay? What did we do? Did we shape melodic lines? Yes or no? Okay? You guys actually did have a little bit of a melodic line there. Okay? Flutes. I certainly shaped, and as I'm working with the horns or euphoniums or clarinets or anybody else playing the melody. Okay? Balance. Did you find your ears once we realized, hey, wait a minute, there are interacting accents here? And all of a sudden your ears started doing this. Okay? Did we unify articulations? Yes, we absolutely did. All right, so singing becomes a rehearsal strategy. And I think it's very important to make it a regular daily part of our teaching, okay? Continuing, standard number 2, okay, still in the performance strand, literature. Choosing literature. Is the literature developmentally appropriate? Now, I must tell you, okay, there's a big philosophical, we're back to these borders again. What is the reason that we teach at middle school? What is the reason we teach at high school? You have to be very, very clear, in my opinion, on what your reasons are. My reasons used to be, when I was young, had a lot of vinegar, it was to have the best sounding band possible. That was my reasons. And then I realized somewhere down the line, I went, wait a minute, Robert, well, you're missing the boat. You're missing the boat. And I realized that my reason was to teach these students the art and love of music and to take them down this developmental path. So as soon as I did that, it changed what I chose. Do you choose your literature because it's what the students need next in the sequence? Or do you choose the literature because you know it's going to make the band sound good? And I'm good with the once-a-year concert band assessment. They have to hear that ensemble sound. They have to know what a good one is. But you know, it's okay if the band doesn't sound good sometimes, as long as the individuals are growing. That's very important. I believe that's very important. Now you've got to decide. You've got to decide, what is my reason? This is back to that border that we talked about in the beginning, okay? So, I'm asking questions, does your literature build sequentially, both technically and conceptually? Have we sat down at the beginning of the year, ASBDA, writers of the ASBDA curriculum guide? You are curriculum designers. We as teachers, ensemble teachers, we are curriculum designers. What are we going to teach this year? Then once we decide what skills, concepts we're going to teach, then we've got to go and find the literature that's going to allow us to teach it and then reinforce it in a way, a very meaningful way over the course of our academic year. That changes the way we choose literature. Many of us choose literature. Okay? Does it build from lesson to lesson, and does it build from concert to concert? It's okay to play, you know? I could take a high school band. I'm a big believer in high school band playing middle school band literature. Why? If I'm going to introduce a new concept, I don't want things like reading to get in the way. I don't want things like range to get in the way. If I'm going to teach this particular musical concept, maybe a phrasing type of thing, let's do it with a simple little grade 2 chorale. Then let's turn around and let's apply it to Holst. But let's start with something where technique is not the issue. Let technique as a means, it's not an ends. Okay, so I'm a big believer in that. The second time, I'm a big believer, I play a lot of middle school band literature with high schools at Christmas time, during the holidays. Why? Marching band season now goes through middle of November. You got 2 weeks. How many rehearsals do you get? 4 or 5? And you got to put on a concert. You know what? Your audience doesn't know that this is a piece of grade 2 literature. They just know if it sounds good. So I'm a great believer in, you know, literature being used in that way. Does it build from lesson to lesson? Does it build from concert to concert? In fact, I can take those 4 or 5 rehearsals for the holiday concert, set up the concepts of the year, play some very easy holiday music, use it to introduce my concepts, and then know that I'm going there when I'm working on material for the spring, and particularly for the concert evaluation. That becomes very important. Is the music stylistically balanced? Does it include all styles? Yes, classic literature. I didn't say classical, I said classic literature. That is the orchestral repertoire, that is now the band repertoire. We've been around a long time. Okay? Is it contemporary? Does it include jazz, pop, all forms of world music? Is it a balanced diet of music? Or do we, and I've had some of my former teachers make what I now consider a mistake. Oh, that's not music. Oh, that's not music. The moment I declare something not music, I give up the right to say something is music. I give that up. We have students coming into the band room every single day that are listening to this music on the radio. They're listening to a whole lot of hip-hop. You know what? Hip-hop is music. It's in a different form, but it is music. And it's actually very good music. Billions of people can't be wrong. Must be me. So how can I use that? Important. Okay? A balanced diet. Our music must connect meaningfully to their daily life. Create. How do we teach things like creating music, becoming very, shall we call it, literate, okay, in our classrooms? We have to create improvisational opportunities. Now, the bottom line is, unless you consider yourself a jazzer, I still suspect probably 75 to 80% remember the jazz improv class in college, and you remember it with great horror, okay? Here are these changes. You're laughing because it's true, okay? All right, and then the jazzers, that becomes an empowering thing for them, okay? And by the way, I was a jazzer, I'm okay, all right? But it's a real empowering kind of thing. Oh, okay, can't you hear that? You know, and you just play, all right? So there was this big dividing line. I think that dividing line, quite frankly, needs to go away. How do we teach and create really incredible, how do we teach improvisation, okay? And then create opportunities that are going to allow our students to be very expressive without necessarily technical limitations. Just a couple of teaching strategies. I use hip hop. I like rap. Okay? Why? Multiple reasons. Okay? I can use it in different ways. I'm going to play a simple little thing. This is actually, I'm only going to do a couple seconds of this. This is a tune written for an elementary classroom. It's for kindergarten. The objective is in kindergarten, okay, they've got to learn the names of the students in the class. It's the first music class. What do you know that every kindergartner knows? They know the interval of a minor third. You're absolutely right. Very first interval. That's the first interval. Okay? What else do we know that they know? Say it again. Steady beat. Okay? They have a concept of steady beat. Excellent. What about a vocabulary set? ABCs. They probably know their ABCs. Is that fair enough? Okay. So I had to come up with a challenge. So this is called the ABC rap. Okay. This is for a kindergarten class. Come on, get out of your seat. And you can't ignore my hip-hop beat. The alphabet is what it's called. And you can even do it if you're smart. So we're giving them some instructions, little groove. Jump to your feet and feel the beat. It's time to rap the ABCs. Form a circle and jump inside. It's as fun as a ride. A ride. I'm foreshadowing what they're going to learn in jazz improv a few years later. Guess what? Now they got to do it. They got to get their hands up. Okay. Here we go, and you point to a child. Now you point. Go, Michael. But they're learning the name. They're shouting the child's name. They're raising the roof. They're doing all the stuff, okay? And here comes Michael. This is a real kid. All these are real kids. Here's Michael. He's a choral kid. Some of you recognize that. Now, by the way, here's Nicole. This is the child that traditionally would have been the illiterate musical child. This is a real rap. Listen. Okay? Now I got to tell you, at that moment, Nicole's a hero. It's all rhythm. Okay? That's in kindergarten. By the way, if those kids had had 5 years of those kind of creative experiences before they hit your beginning band room, how much better would they be? They'd walk in with no fear, wouldn't they? No fear. You heard Carol say this morning, I don't know if is she in here? There she is. The biggest hurdle is fear. That's the biggest hurdle. And her job was to get those students over the fear. Once they did that, then the secondary thing is what's coming out. But the biggest hurdle is fear. Okay? Now, how can we apply that to band room? How about doing an instrument name rap? How about maybe even taking instruments and putting them on a table and let a student choose the order that the instruments are laying on the table? By the way, that's a form of notation, isn't it? Think about that. There's an order. Can you improvise a rap rhythmically using these instrument names in this order? Okay? How about score order? Oh my goodness. Imagine teaching score order. College conducting class. That was the first time. Do you remember that? I still believe that a new band director, you can always tell what instrument they played because there's too much of that in the balance of the band. And we also recognize that when we first got that score, we all go to that line and hang on, don't we? Okay? I mean, but think about it. I'll talk about listening here in just a second. But I was a trumpet player. I had 13 years of going, yes, that's exactly what that needs to sound like. Well, to me, by the time that was reinforced for 13 years, that's too much trumpet. Because all I did was sit in the trumpet section. All I heard was I had no clue what was happening in the flutes. It was so far away. Think about that. Okay? All right? How about band member names, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? All right? So we can create all kinds of really interesting experiences. I'm a real big fan of improvs. One-note improvs. Let's do an F concert improv. Throw that little rap track on. Bum boom ba ba dum ba ba doo bum ba dum bum ba doo dum bum boo dum ba dum bum boo ba bum ba ba bum ba bum. Just take the one note, take the note of the day, and let them improv a little rhythm through the horn. All of a sudden now you've got something. And by the way, we are connecting to their daily life. You're about to be the band room hero. Okay, pun intended. All right. So one-note type improvs, all kinds of ideas. How about drum circles? Drum circles are now just absolutely huge. Okay. All right. All types of things. That's really great. All right. Give me a rhythm, sir. 4 beats. 2. Ready? Go. Well, you're a band director. Okay. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay. All right. All right. Just give me a rhythm. Don't give me numbers. Just give me a rhythm. Any rhythm. Bop, boot up, bop, 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 something along those lines is what you're saying. By the way, as soon as he got rid of the numbers, rhythmically it became much more interesting and complex, didn't it? You know? Labels are something we really should apply after the fact. All right? We just had a great session. Some of you were with me in the previous session, okay? Saying the exact same thing. We apply those labels maybe at the wrong time. All right? Bop, boot up, bop, bop, bop. Bop, boot up, bop, bop, bop. Bop, boot up, bop, bop, bop. This side. Bop, boot up, bop, bop, bop. Bop, boot up, bop, bop. Chris, give us another rhythm that interacts with that. Bop, bop. Ba-da-doo-dop, dop-da-dop, bop, bop. Doom, do-doom. Doom, 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 doom. You get the idea. Now, time precludes us, but we actually can do a vocal drum circle very easily. And people are creating. They're improving a rhythm. They find something they like. They'll make a chat. Oh, no, I don't like that. It just takes a couple seconds. Now, by the way, how long would it take us to transfer from that to a wind circle? Now let's do it on F concert, or E flat concert, or D flat concert, or even D concert. Oh no, bands don't play in sharp keys. Huh? You laugh, but it's true, right? Okay? All right? So all kinds of opportunities there. I wish we had more time to talk about that. By the way, improvisation is the first step to composition. After composition, then we have to set it for something. That would be arranging. Improvisation, composition, arranging. All right? So it's a natural transfer there to get into, all right, using little note sets. Remember our B-flat concert scale? Take the first 5 notes. Go home tonight, band. Write a little melody based upon the first 5 notes. They come back in, okay? They play it for the band. Everybody plays it. Find a way to notate it, all right, as part of your warm-up. And then all of a sudden now, the whole band is playing John's composition. It's just 4 to 8 beats, but he had to think about it. And he's going to think about it hard because he knows he has to present it to the band. Okay? Really interesting. With that, we can base things on scales. We can provide all kinds of little language sets. Start small and work bigger and bigger and bigger.